Hey guys, I'm back for my weekly Facebook Live. I have an external mic today, so hopefully on Facebook the sound quality will be a little better. I'm still experimenting, so thank you guys for bearing with me and your patience on that. So, what I'd like to talk about today is how you can maximize your time and get the best possible results if you only realistically can come to the gym 2 days per week. So, I work at a gym in downtown Chicago. That's where my in-person clients are, and most of them have very high-powered, high-octane, high-paying jobs. I work with attorneys, I work with executives, I work with pharmacists, people like that. So they are, they're people that really have their shit together, but they have a lot of stuff going on in their lives, and they really don't have a ton of extra time to devote to exercise. It's great to manage your time better and to prioritize, and that's all good, and these people are doing that, but sometimes you just only have a couple of days a week to train. So how can you maximize your time? How can you get the most bang for your buck? What sorts of things should you be doing in that limited time to train so that you can see progress towards your goals? It's very easy to come to the gym a couple of times a week and not see any progress and be stuck in the same place for years and years. So today I want to share with you the top strategies that I use with these clients, and hopefully you can take some things away for your own training if you're someone who has a more limited schedule. So first things first, when you train twice a week, you need to adjust your priorities a little bit. So if you have been following some sort of body part split routine that you got from a magazine or an upper body, lower body split, I probably would recommend switching to a full body split. A full body split training twice a week is going to give you at least 2 exposures to every major movement pattern and every major muscle group, more or less. And that is what you need really at a bare minimum to see progress. If you're only hitting things once a week, you're going to kind of stay where you are, most likely, unless you're very new to exercise. Most people need at least a couple of exposures to get stronger, to build muscle, to improve their performance, all the things that we're trying to do in the gym. So switch to full body workouts. Secondly, you need a lot more priority on a plan and a program. So if you're just coming in the gym and you're doing what a lot of people do, which is you sort of have an idea of what you're going to do, but you don't have a concrete plan, and you're wandering around the gym looking for what equipment's available, and I don't really want to do this, I really like this exercise, now you've wasted half of your training time, essentially. So come to the gym with a concrete plan and a program, preferably a program that is progressive and put together in an intelligent way so that you know exactly what you're going to do and you're not wasting time. Now, there are a few ways to get a program like this. The first and easiest way is to hire a coach, an in-person coach or an online coach, someone that has experience working with clients like you, who has experience helping people get to goals, whatever kind of goals you're chasing. They can put together something that, again, is intelligently designed and is going to help you progress. And then you don't have to do anything on your end, especially if you're working with an online coach. You just show up and you execute the program. So that's the first thing. Second thing, if that's not an option for you or for whatever reason, is to go online and to buy like a DIY product from another coach or a trainer. So when I was first lifting weights, this is what I did for years and years. I would find people that I was reading in the fitness industry that I respected, and more often than not, they're going to have some sort of pre-made do-it-yourself program that you purchase, usually for like a nominal fee, and then it'll typically last like 3 months. That's pretty standard. And then I would do everything in the program. I would work hard. I'd push myself, and then when the program was over, I would find another one to do. And that's a great way to see progress. Most people screw up because they don't stick with the program. So if you do this, just make sure that you really follow through and you don't just jump ship when you get bored or you think things aren't working fast enough. And then in addition to paid programs, a lot of the big fitness sites like bodybuilding.com and T-Nation and stuff, they have a lot of free programs up, and I did a lot of those as well, and some of them are actually pretty good. So obviously don't do stuff that is way out of your skill level or is geared towards someone with a totally different goal than you, but free programs can be an awesome way to start if you're just kind of testing the waters, or you don't want to make a financial commitment right now or something like that. So having a program is super important. So next, what do you actually do in those workouts? So if you're buying a program, of course, you don't have to worry about this, but I definitely would look for these things when you're seeking out programs and when you're evaluating coaches and whatnot. So I already mentioned full body workouts are important. I definitely would prioritize what are called compound movements. So a compound movement is a movement that uses a lot of different joints and a lot of different muscles. So a squat, for example. you think of a squat, oh, I'm working my quads. Yes, that is kind of the primary thing you're working, but you're also working the rest of the muscles in your legs. Depending on how you load the squat, you're working your upper body as well, and you're almost always working your core. So it's really a full body movement in a lot of ways, even though one part of the body gets a little more emphasis. So I would make sure that in your workouts, you get at least one exercise from each, one compound exercise in each of the following categories: a squat, a hip hinge, so those would be things like deadlifts, kettlebell swings, good mornings, pull-throughs, 45-degree back extensions. I would do an upper body push, and I would do an upper body pull, and then I would also do some sort of either a loaded carry or a core exercise, or you could do both if you have time. If you get one compound exercise from each of those groups in every workout, and you do that twice a week, already you've covered a decent amount of ground over the week. You're definitely going to see progress, assuming that you're pushing yourself at the gym in that time. I would put the workout together using supersets. So I use supersets with almost all of my clients, with a few exceptions. Supersets allow you to spend less time setting up and tearing down the exercises, so it saves you time essentially, and it also saves you time if you pair them together like with opposing groups. So if you did a lower body push, so let's say a squat with an upper body pull, even though you're using your whole body, you're not using the primary muscles for both of those exercises, so you're going to be able to move from one to the other with less rest because you won't be as tired. So I would do it that way. I would do a lower body push and an upper body pull, an upper body push and a lower body pull, like a hip hinge. And you can do 2 of those supersets in a workout and then throw in some core stuff, a loaded carry. If you have time, you could do some isolation work for like your arms and shoulders, or you could do conditioning or cardio or something like that if you have time. And then you've got a full body workout where you hit all of your bases. So that's how I would set it up. Now, the next important thing is that you really need to minimize distractions in your workout. So the first step to this is, of course, having a program, because if you have a program, like I already said, you're not going to be wandering around the gym aimlessly trying to figure out what to do. The next step is, if at all possible, leave your phone in the locker room. So I'm sure you guys have seen this at the gym. I see it all the time, is people in between sets, like scrolling through Facebook, people taking calls while they're doing sets, which totally baffles me. People answering emails, people getting sidetracked and distracted. So I understand you're all busy people. That's the whole point of training just twice a week, because you have a lot of shit going on. But you really, if you want to see progress in the gym, you need to focus on what you're doing in the gym. So if you need your phone for music or you're tracking your workout, that's totally fine. Just put it on airplane mode. Everything else can wait. If it can't wait, you probably should work out at a different time. So focus and minimize distractions. And then the last thing is to keep your rest intervals short wherever possible if you're short on time. Now, the exception to this is if you're doing some really heavy barbell lifting, like 3 rep maxes and lower reps, things that are really challenging, you'll probably need to increase your rest if you want to perform at your strongest. But for most of the time, you can definitely keep rest intervals between like 30 to 60 seconds between exercises, and that'll keep things moving along for you. It'll allow you to get more done over the course of the workout. So the last piece to this is actually everything that happens outside the gym. So let's say you're only able to come to the gym twice a week. You do what I said, everything I've said so far, which I'll review in a second. You have 2 awesome workouts. Now, you have all of the rest of your time over the week. So what are you doing with that time? There are a couple of things that I think are really important. First is to be as active as possible outside the gym. So there are all kinds of ways that you can do this. You can walk more often. You can maybe add or change up your commute in a way that you're walking more of your commute or you're biking for your commute. You can park farther away. You can take the stairs. You can do things like make your life a little bit more difficult just so you can get a little bit of extra activity without totally changing up your schedule or devoting a lot of time to go do a full workout. That stuff will really add up over the course of the week. And then if your goal is primarily a body change goal, like you're trying to lose weight or gain muscle, your nutrition becomes even more important if you're not as active in the gym. So of course it's always important, but if you're not exercising as often and you're trying to lose weight, you probably will have to cut your calories a little bit more. It sucks, but that's just the way that it goes. Someone who's training only twice a week versus someone who's training 5 or 6 days a week is going to have a lot lower expenditure of calories, so you're going to need to keep a closer eye on your nutrition. Same thing goes for building muscle, but sort of in a different way. If you're not as active, you probably don't need as big of a calorie surplus. If your surplus is too big, then you're going to put on a lot of extra body fat instead of just muscle. So keep it just a slight surplus and pay close attention to what you're eating. And then the last thing is, if not everyone's trying to lose weight, not everyone's trying to build muscle. Some people, a lot of my clients, they have like injuries, or they just feel really crappy from sitting all day, so they exercise as a way to feel better, to move, to get more in touch with their body. So if that's your primary goal, it's really important, if you're only in the gym twice a week, you pay close attention to how you're moving the rest of the week. So this is especially relevant if you sit all day and you sit with a really terrible posture, and you come in the gym, we do all this corrective work, we get you strong, we get you mobile, but then you go back to sitting in your shitty posture, you're not going to feel a lot better. So try to take the things that you're working on in the gym and pay attention to how you're moving outside the gym. See if you can change up some of that stuff, because that's where you're spending the majority of your time. So all of the most awesome work at the gym is only going to go so far if your posture is bad elsewhere, you're in bad positions, you're doing repetitive movements in a way that hurts you. So pay attention to that stuff. All right, so just to summarize, there are a few things that you should pay attention to if you can only work out twice a week. And when I say workout, I'm kind of referring to strength training specifically. So first things first, get on a program. If you don't already have one, hire a coach, find one online, free or paid. Just have some sort of concrete plan so when you come to the gym, you're not wasting your time. Your workouts should be full body workouts if you're only working out twice a week. I recommend using supersets of opposing exercises to save time. Your first priority is to get one exercise in all of the major movement groups. So that would be squat, hinge, press, pull, and then core or loaded carry. Beyond that, if you have extra time, you can do isolation work like curls and press downs. You can do high intensity interval training. You can do more cardio, but make sure you get those bases covered first. When you're at the gym, push your phone away, focus on what you're doing and work hard. Keep your rest intervals short wherever possible, except when you're doing really heavy work that requires more intensity and you'll need to recover a little bit longer. And then lastly, when you're not in the gym, make sure your lifestyle is supporting your goals. You don't want to do this great work in the gym and then shoot yourself in the foot by sitting all the time and eating like shit. So make sure that you are as active as you can. Go for a walk, go outside, take the stairs, anything like that will add up. If your goal is a body change goal, make sure you're watching your nutrition and adjusting appropriately. You may need to be a little bit stricter than someone who's more active. And then lastly, if your goal is to address an injury or to feel better, move better, make sure that your posture and your movement throughout the week is mirroring the good work that you're doing in the gym. So, like I said, I work with a lot of clients that are in this boat. If it sounds like you and you want more specific advice, feel free to shoot me a message. We can discuss some options, or I can direct you somewhere that I think would be helpful. If you have any other questions or an idea for a future post, you can also shoot those in the comments or send me a message. Thank you for watching, guys. Have a good one.